Cheat Code. Support Strategist. By Clouds. My Head in the Clouds, Not Coming Down. On AO3. Chapter 47. Found. From Kidnapper Number 1. We found Gravity Girl. Location pinned. Let us know when she disappears again. Call you with more info tonight. Hitoshi stared at his phone in a mix of shock and relief. He really shouldn't be surprised that his kidnappers had managed to find his kidnapped friend, but it was still impressive that they had found her in a matter of hours. Also, should he be concerned that they seemed to fully be expecting her to disappear again? He shook his head and knocked on the door to Gunhead's office before pushing it open. I just got a location for Uraraka. I'm gonna go pick her up. Gunhead almost dropped his coffee. You found her? I didn't find her, but my kidnappers did. Hitoshi shrugged. Sorry, my friends in the support course, they tracked her down somehow. The important thing is that I know where she is, and I'm gonna go get her. I just wanted to let you know. Right. Gunhead set his coffee down and stood up. Let's go. Mineta had actually finished the chores Mount Lady had told him to do hours ago, but she was too absorbed in checking her social media to notice that. She was a new hero and notoriously obsessed with her image, so it wasn't a hard choice when he needed to find someone to drool over that would still allow him to keep tabs on these other classmates. He hadn't been expecting all that much to happen this week, honestly, except that Ida was most likely going to try to go off the rails, which Sensei would be delighted about if the hero he was interning under couldn't stop him in time. But today, he'd been busier than expected. There was a distinct lack of UA in the media this morning, which meant that they were actively trying to stay out of it, which meant that they were hiding something. He hadn't been able to dig up what exactly, but he sent out a few feelers to the rest of his classmates, just asking them how they were doing. None of the girls had responded, which was irritating, but understandable considering his cover. And Shinso was the only guy to leave him on red, which meant that he was either involved in whatever they were trying to cover up, or he was just too close to the girls. Either one, if the news didn't break, he'd look more into it tomorrow. His main interest at the moment was Island. The notification that they had gone into a lockdown this morning didn't seem like major news for Japan, but Sensei had asked him to keep an eye on the support course, and it was odd enough that two of the first years had been asked to intern there. Add an island-wide lockdown to that, and it's exactly the type of thing Sensei would want to know about. Maybe, if they were lucky, those two had actually caused the lockdown, and there might be some chance of recruitment. Maybe they could even help the League find this cheat code know-it-all who keeps breaking down their necks. Grape juice, Mount Lady called. Can you be a baby and give me another soda from the fridge? I'll love you forever. Anything for you, gorgeous. Mineta read one final notification before putting away his phone, and made a note to pass it along to his report. At Island Official. Sorry for any panic this morning's lockdown might have caused. Our experts have determined that a Quirk accident was at fault for this morning's apparent security breach. The situation has been resolved, and our security system had been updated to prevent a repeat of this morning's false alarm. No sensitive information was compromised. Shoto walked a few steps behind Eggshot, not really sure what he was supposed to be doing at the moment. With Endeavor, he was supposed to be learning from the best and protecting as much as don't talk to me energy as he could. But did the other heroes try to seem more likable to the media? Was he supposed to be looking for villains, or would that count as getting in the way? I hear you're thinking from here, Eggshot said. Oh, sorry, Shota said quickly. I'll stop. Eggshot stopped and looked at him strangely. Stop? Why would I ask you to stop thinking? Intelligence is an essential part of being a hero. I just wanted to know what was on your mind. Sorry. Shoto apologized again. I suppose I was just wondering what the purpose of this patrol is. Aren't you mostly a nocturnal hero? Eggshot gave him an appraising look. Yes, I am, but why do you think I would patrol during the day? To catch criminals in the act? Shota said, and to be visible to the media. Eggshot paused thoughtfully for a moment. The media, yes, partially. The criminals, not so much. Most of my takedowns, like you said, are at night, so I'm content to leave everyday pursuit catchers to the lesser heroes. But the main reason I truly patrol during the day is for the people. Yes, Shota nodded. To protect them. Eggshot looked ahead. That is part of it, but actually, not what I was referring to. Shoto, do you know why people become villains? Shoto got the idea that this was one of Aizawa's logical ruses, but he didn't know what the trick was. Because they put their own desires over what's good? Sometimes, Eggshot nodded. Or they simply don't trust the law is good. A lot of people struggle in this world, and if a hero is out and about during the day, they know that someone is there to save them if they ever need it. We can't save everyone, unfortunately, but even just being visible can keep some of the fallen into despair and taking matters into their own hands. So a hero's job isn't just to protect the defenseless from villains. Shota frowned. Interesting. Shot didn't seem like he was expecting anything else from the conversation, so Shoto followed along in silence for a few more minutes. He paid attention to how the people looked at them. If he was with Endeavor, he'd be getting both awed and terrified looks, and maybe a few angry, which didn't seem like it would help bring people hope up like Eggshot was describing. The civilians they passed didn't look at Eggshot with as much obvious admiration as they did Endeavor, but it almost seemed like they trusted him, which was hard to wrap his head around. Shoto heard a familiar yowl and turned to see Iper weaving in and out of people's legs as she rushed towards him. Shoto couldn't be bothered to hold back a smile as he crouched down. Seeing a hero student petting a cat on patrol would be reassuring, right? It would piss off his father at the very least. Oh, wonderful, it's the devil cat, Eggshot murmured. Careful, she may look cute, but don't get too close. Eggshot trailed off as Eperd butted against Shota's hands and made him scratch in between her ears. She'd always went for his left side first, which Shoto thought was hilarious. His father spent so much effort in planning to get a child with the perfect dual quirk, and he used it to attract cats. It was beautifully ironic. Devil cat. Yeah, that describes her pretty well, Shota said fondly, the corner of his mouth twitching slightly as she purred and head-butted him again. Ipur can be pretty mean when she doesn't get her way. When Eggshot didn't respond, Shoto looked up to see him staring at them in shock. Did she really let you name her? Shoto shrugged and stood up. Is that weird? Eggshot shook his head in disbelief. You realize that every hero that patrols near here has tried to pet that cat, right? She scratches at every single one of them. Anytime anyone tries to give her a name, even some of the shop owners that feed her, she hisses and refuses to respond to it. And that's why we call her the devil cat. She's more likely to attack you than to let you pet her. He started walking, and Shota followed behind. Ipur ran alongside them, hopping onto a nearby fence. Maybe she wasn't in the mood to be pet. From what I've seen, she's always getting whatever she wants. No. Ipur, not okay. Ipur had launched herself onto the fence and Shota's shoulder and almost immediately settled in and started grooming him. He reached to grab her, and make her go back to the ground, but she simply swatted him with a hiss and kept working. Shota pouted and felt his face heat up as he turned to Eggshot and gave him a small bow, careful to not knock Eper loose. My apologies, sir, but I'm afraid that she never lets me stop her when she gets like this, so unfortunately, this predicament might last a while. I understand that patrolling the stray cat on my shoulder is highly unprofessional, so if you would like me to return to the agency until the situation is resolved, He trailed off and straightened up as he realized that Eggshot was laughing at him. Sure, it wasn't loud, but his shoulders were shaking and his eyes were starting to tear up as he held a hand over his mouth. Ah, this makes much more sense. What? Shota absentmindedly reached up to pet Eper, who was purring and flicked him with her tail. I'm deeply... I thought you had managed to tame her, Eggshot chuckled. But nope, I guess it's just rules of the universe that the devil cat can't be tamed. I wasn't trying to tame her, Shota insisted. I was just trying to sit down once, and she came up and sat on my lap because I have a fire quirk, and it makes me warm. Vernon has a fire quirk, too, and she's never been able to get close to the level devil. Even with the mask, Shota could tell that Eggshot was smiling. Nope, I can't believe that. Why did you call her? Eper? I'm pretty sure she thinks you're her kitten. What? Shota blinked. I'm sorry, but you're mistaken. I'm much larger than a kitten. Eggshot rolled his eyes. Yeah, I'm aware of that. But adoption is pretty common in cats. Actually, and they even adopt babies from other species if the real parents aren't around. To her, she may not have given birth to you, but she's acting like she just woke up on a day and decided to be your mother. So I'm sorry to break it to you, Shoto. You've been adopted. Shoto huffed softly. Well, Eper just needs to give me a good scratch and I'll have a scar from both my mothers. Eggshot frowned. What was that? Sorry, you were muttering and I didn't quite catch it. Oh, nothing. Shota shook his head. Oh, wait a minute. Are those people taking pictures? Eggshot chuckled. Are you kidding? Kid, this is why we go on patrol. You're going to be trending by the time school's let out. Oh. Shota took a deep breath. An Eper presented on his shoulder was oddly startling, considering that this was all her fault. Okay, that's a good thing, right? Yes. Eggshot shook his head in amusement. Yes, Shoto, that's a very good thing. Hitoshi looked down at his phone again, then up at the park. Well, according to Izuku and Mei, she should be somewhere around here, hopefully. They did warn me that she might disappear again, though, so I guess I should text and ask if they know anything. Gunhead nodded. Yes, that would be the best. Hitoshi was halfway through texting when a yell from the playground caught his attention. No! Get away from there! You don't know what kind of disease that thing has! A little girl was trying to tug herself free as her mother pulled away. It's not a thing, it's a person! What if they need to go to the hospital? She caught sight of Hitoshi and Gunhead and immediately started waving them over. You guys are heroes! We need your help! They started a glance before Gunhead put on a happier voice and bounced off. Of course, we can't stay long, we're looking for someone, you see, but I'm sure we could get help to see whatever the issue is. It's not an issue, the mother groaned. It's just a drunk who decided that the playground was a good place to sleep after a mid-morning bender. I looked up from my phone and there she was, a raggedy thing puking in the trash can before crawling in the tunnel and passing out. Disgusting. I mean, she wasn't even wearing any shoes. I don't want my daughter being around those kind of influences. I'm sure you understand. She was puking. Shinso blinked. Where did you say she went? Over by the play tunnel. The little girl slipped out of her mother's grip and grabbed Hitoshi's hand. Here, I'll take you to her. Ara, get back here right this instant. Ara didn't listen. She dragged Hitoshi to the playground and tugged him to the ground outside the tunnel. Look, there, you can help her. I'm so sorry. Hera's mother grabbed her by the shoulder as Hitoshi kneeled down and looked inside the tunnel. You need to apologize to the heroes. You can't just grab them. They have important things to do. But, Mom! Ara started to protest, but stopped when she saw Hitoshi's face. Mr. Hero, what's wrong? What is it? Nothing. Hitoshi tried to smile reassuringly, but he had a feeling it fell flat. I just need to yell at my friend to make sure they give me all the information next time they send me to find someone. Gunhead! Over here, I found her! The sunset was beautiful, and Kirigiri wished he could pay attention to it, but young Tomura was enjoying the view of a very different reason. He grinned as he scratched at his neck. The Tsurinomu that Sensei had given him, standing, dead-eyed, at the ready, waiting for their orders. Even if he should be used to it by now, it was still creepy enough to send shivers down Kirigiri's spine. I'll show him. Shigaraki grinned. Let's see who's in the news tomorrow, hero killer. Okay, I really hope that Ipper genuinely thinks of Shoto as, like, a child. It's sad that he's getting more parental guidance and love from a cat than his actual parents. But hey, something is better than nothing. Also, can we talk about Mineta's complete character switch? I feel like this isn't Mineta the character, but Mineta an OC, and you know what? I'm here for it. Personally, I know a lot of people don't like it when the characters are quote-unquote out of character and become like a OC-ish kind of. Personally, I think it could be interesting. For example, villain Izuku, right? It drops into the territory of OC a lot because, you know, Deku. But it's very interesting to see people not manage, but like play around with the idea of a character we all know and love, except twisted just a tad bit. I know some don't like it. Mine, it has to be written well. And in this instance, Mineta being his persona and his actual real personality is something completely different is very interesting. I'm very in-depth because like it's still in character while being out of it at the same time, because it's like the character we know is a persona. We don't know actual Mineta, and that is super interesting. It's a very interesting detail that for some reason it isn't till now that it's fully hitting me that Mineta being a perv is a whole persona. It probably should have hit me a while back, but like it hit me a while back, but like it's barely done processing right now. You see, I'm a little slow sometimes. And yeah, I want to see more of Todoroki with Ipper, Shinso with Aizawa, and more Izuku with Nezu. That sounds like family issues. Hold up. I just like found family, okay? I am a sucker for found family. Found family is my favorite. I would kill for found family. As always, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Join our community Discord server, link is in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content. And thank you so much for watching.